Everybody wants to know what the future of networking looks like. Most people look towards Silicon Valley, but if you really want to understand where communications networks are heading, you need to look somewhere else.
You go right straight through this door here, down the hall,
Yeah.
turn right,
Yeah.
jog to the
We
left.
don't have time for that.
Look inside a factory or a power utility. Look inside the organizations that cannot afford technology to fail. Because industry doesn't just use the newest technologies. It decides which future technologies survive. For decades, communications networks were judged by how quickly they could move data around. Now, they're increasingly judged by other metrics. Can they keep factories operating and power flowing continuously? And can they become part of the systems that society itself depends upon? Once a network becomes part of how essential services operate, reliability, automation, and resilience are no longer optional capabilities. They become the mission.
When you think about the future of ag tech or precision ag, you've got networks, right? We as a service provider are in charge of what's called the last mile network to reach that farm or ranch headquarters. And beyond that, you have what I call a last acre network. In order to facilitate the advances in ag tech, a fiber network needs to be coming to that farm or ranch headquarters. And from there, that last acre network touches all of the devices, sensors, and such that are across all of the acres that are part of the agricultural efforts of that farm or ranch. You're building a network that is a generational network. As I mentioned, some of our early fiber went in the ground in the mid-90s. It's still functioning just as well now as it was, 30 years ago.
Enterprises' needs are changing over time. They're no longer looking for pure connectivity solutions. They're looking for how we can use technology to help them make decisions faster, automate their workflows, and even using technologies to help them make more efficient of processes so that they can focus on your core business.
That represents one of the biggest changes the telecommunications industry has faced ever. For most of its history, success meant delivering connectivity between people, but today, connectivity is increasingly assumed. It's table stakes.
That's it. Or
The value lies in everything that the network enables. Industrial automation, digital manufacturing, autonomous operations, artificial intelligence. The network is becoming less of a destination and more of a platform.
14th best broadband and with grand ambitions to build an AI-powered economy of the future. I'm not sure how that happens without a resilient, robust network that can move data at the speeds and latency that it needs to. Having local investment, having state power for allowing communities to direct for themselves how infrastructure should be planned for them is going to be necessary. We should be ensuring that they're empowered to be in the driver's seat. I mean, that's what comes up in conversations around data centers too, right? Like, you have to make sure that the communities where you want to put these things are going to get a benefit out of them.
Artificial intelligence is often described as a software revolution, but every AI application ultimately becomes a networking problem. Data has to move. Machines have to communicate, factories have to coordinate, and the infrastructure has to respond in real time. So as intelligence becomes more widely distributed, so too must the networks that support it. The future of networking isn't simply about carrying more traffic. It's about enabling the industries that underpin the global economy.
I think the era of AI is actually going to position service providers pretty well because the network asset, and not just the network, the power and the data center assets that service providers have that are very distributed across every single country are going to be absolutely critical. Because in a multi-agentic framework, you're going to find that you're going to have a lot of agents communicating with each other to reach to an outcome, and the latency aspect is going to be quite critical.
The organizations deploying AI most successfully aren't removing humans from the equation. They're removing repetitive work. Their end goal is building better performing businesses and industrial environments, not just laying off their human workforce.
Your strategy has to be human first, right? Replace the task, not the job. Augment people to give them access to data faster so that they can make the important strategic decisions about what's happening. There's certain tasks that are perfectly capable that AI can do all day, every day, right? Checking a work order, looking at light levels. When it comes to human touch and tone, I would much rather prefer to augment the people that we have than replace them with just an AI that just does it and that no one can really check and see.
Industry sees AI as systems engineering. That may be the most important observation in this episode. The communications industry has spent the last 3 years talking about AI models, but heavy industry is talking about integration, governance, data, operations. Intelligence by itself isn't particularly useful. It won't transform an organization. It has to become part of a larger operational system. And the connective tissue of that entire system is the network.
Sovereignty sometimes challenges all those three pillars, right? Because it basically means that you'll have to probably move from centralized to more of a distributed architecture. Then you layer on the AI tools, right? Or agentic AI tools.
The companies making the greatest progress with artificial intelligence treat it as another capability within a much larger operational architecture, which brings us back to where we started. Industry has always been networking's toughest customer. Factories can't tolerate downtime. Utilities cannot tolerate uncertainty. Critical infrastructure cannot afford fashionable technology that simply doesn't work.
That's too bad. I don't know what happened. Well, I got a missed video call. Try it again. I keep on messing this up.
Before a networking technology spreads into the wider economy, it almost always has to prove itself where failure has real consequences. Many of the technologies now becoming mainstream were first refined inside industrial environments, where reliability mattered more than novelty. Industry doesn't just adopt innovation. It challenges it, it tests it, it improves it. And once it has proved itself there, the rest of the world usually follows. Because industry doesn't simply know the future of networking, it decides which future survives.